Man, this juice is good. I'm gonna stay live for as long as I want to. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay live, y'all, but I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna just stay here until I feel like getting off. I see there's nobody in the chat, so I'll just talk. So the title of this live is people take God seriously when, because I've been thinking about the last couple days. Um I've kind of had no other choice but to meditate on how I feel, which sucks because I don't like doing that. But anyway, somebody told me to read the Bible so I would fall asleep or get sleepy or feel tired or feel sleepy, and I did, and I found myself in Psalms, and the scripture was commune with your own heart, and it was like commune. I know what community means. I think I know what commune means. So I Googled commune, then I Googled what does commune with your own heart mean. And it was just like, sit with yourself, meditate, reflect, introspect your thoughts and feelings. And so it's like, oh, okay. And I did. And I thought about myself, of course, because, I'm thinking about myself and why I'm so angry, pissed off, and emotional about a lot of stuff that people may feel don't matter or isn't important, or oh, everybody just needs to move on and grow up and yada yada yada. Um, I recognized that I was angry and pissed off and emotional because, my feelings are still hurt. I've never been one to just ignore people, walk away, pretend I don't care. I usually, fight, argue, yell, scream, kick, like I have like a period of just bullshit. And then it's like, you know what? I don't care no more. Okay. Or maybe there's like some type of apologizing or, but lately, I've just decided to just not care as much as I possibly can. I laugh a lot at things that are not funny. Okay. But are funny at the same time because it's like, what else can you do? It don't really make me cry. It kind of make me roll my eyes. It irritates me a little bit, but it's not. I'm not crying. Why am I crying? Because some of this shit is bullshit. It's not even real. And I've been giving more of my energy to what's not real or what's not true than sitting with myself and examining what's real and what's true. And what's real and what's true is, you know, my feelings are still hurt. But I feel like every day that I decide to just ignore, keep going, laugh, I thought I was healing because it's like it became distant memories. It's just you just kind of bury your feelings. You bury them. You make sense of them for yourself so that you can move on, but when you don't examine yourself, commune with yourself, I'm gonna say that, you know, I think that can be a little dangerous when you're like me, which is confrontational. I am very confrontational. Um, I like to with social media and seeing people that you can't fucking stand, okay, being in the same chat as people that you can't stand, you know, you got a love hate relationship. I should have titled this live when love turns into hate, when like turns into dislike, when community turns into discord. But that would have been too long of a title, and I don't think there's that many characters to make it for a title. Healing can be done in front of everybody, but it's really your responsibility to heal you. It's nobody else's. you know. So last night I heard a whole lot of benefiting, people benefiting from their relationship with God or belief in God or, you know, um, that's what I heard, honestly. And honestly, I never thought about it like that personally. I just was mad at the certain individual for hurting my feelings. That's really all. But, everything people have, their view and, I'm going to say their perspective of things because once again, I look at things from my own point of view and my experience with the person. And I was really in my feelings where other people had noticed other things. And it was like, are my feelings really important? Like, are they? Now, I was thinking about this when I was communing with myself. It was like, yes, they're important to you and they are important to those that care about you, but what have you really done to care for yourself other than ignore and pretend that you don't care? And I'm not going to say nothing, but what I will say is I've prayed, I've cried, I've whined, I've screamed, I've cussed people out because truthfully, in the moment, cussing people out feels great. It's like, you know what? People be like, some people choose, you know, killing folks with kindness, but I choose violence. Okay. So that's what makes me feel better. Violence sometimes. But I didn't think I would start crying again because I kept saying, oh, you ain't gonna do nothing but cry, you ain't gonna do nothing but cry. It's like when I started crying, it was like, damn. But you know what? This is how I really feel. And people talk a lot about why people come on the internet and talk about their feelings because nobody cares. And I agree. I've listened to some lives, where I just really didn't care. And it wasn't because I disliked the person. It wasn't because I knew them or I thought they was lying. It was just kind of like a it makes you think. I know I think a lot. And I've listened to some lives where people have come to tears, you know, and I've cared a whole lot, even if I didn't like them. Even if I didn't like them, it would be like, oh damn. I said all that to say, I think we all benefit, well, take God seriously well, we've all done that. Like, we take God seriously when it benefits us. I've just never done it, I'm gonna say financially. I've never set out to gain, it was for me, I think I just take him seriously when he answers my prayers or, when I need I'm gonna say spiritual relief. I guess when I pray, it's like, you know what? Like my prayers, like my real prayers have never really been about money. It's always been about my feelings. Like, Lord, help me not to be so angry, help me not to be so sad, help me not to be so triggered. Um, it was never about anything that I could really gain monetarily. And even when I decided to go to church or read a Bible, it was never for money. It was really about my feelings. And I've noticed over the years that I get angry because I hate dealing with my feelings because I've been in situations where my feelings did not matter to a person. And you can say it comes from childhood or you can say it just comes from life, period. And there's been a lot of times where I felt like I was ignored or not heard or wasn't believed. And I mean real situations like being violated or something. And I just never really dealt with those kinds of things, those feelings until I got into therapy. And when I got into therapy, I would be mad in therapy because it's like that stuff don't matter. Like that's not really important because that's how I was treated. And when my therapist made me come to that realization, I got even madder because it's like, wait a minute. So I do hide my feelings, like my real feelings of hurt or sadness or even care, you know, because to me that's showing weakness because in a sense of, growing up, those things were dismissed. They were dismissed. Hey, Miss Alice. So I hate showing my real feelings, especially when it's I'm not gonna say clear, but it's a little um confusing because I think we all protect our feelings on some kind of level, whether it's deflection, you know, I'm gonna say I think we protect our feelings with deflection, or we have, yeah, I think at some point or another we've all done that where it's like, I don't really want to deal with this, so I'm gonna deflect, and I find myself doing that a lot. I do that a lot. I even do it on a daily, just in real life. If there's something I do not want to deal with, I just kind of push it to the side, and but it comes out somewhere later. It comes out somewhere, whether it's, you know, and it kind of be over small stuff, because when you hide, how you truly feel, and you're not dealing with something, it's going to come out. You can take it out on other people. It's like you kind of distract yourself. It's like, this don't matter, that don't matter. I'm just gonna whatever. It's okay to be hurt. It's never okay to purposely hurt other people because you're hurt or hurting. The saying is hurt people, right? Right. Sometimes you bleed on people who ain't never even did nothing to you. Okay. You bleed on people who ain't never cut you. When you don't deal with your feelings, or your emotions and your traumas, like we like to call it paranoia. Oh, you think everybody's out to get you because such and such, was out to get you, or because somebody did that or somebody did this. It's like, yeah, we do that sometimes. I know for me, I just try to, give people the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes, you know, which I just think is, I'm gonna say for me, um, definitely foolish, because it's like, man, there ain't enough time for me to sit up and talk about everything that I have experienced. Um, because if I did, y'all would be like, yeah, girl, yeah. hmm I know what moved me to go live was, I was on Facebook, and this girl was talking about discernment, and you have discernment, but and it was like, oh yeah, I know, I know. And sometimes you just know, but you go against your better judgment because you want to, because you may benefit from it. I know for me, I like what I like. I enjoy what I enjoy. And I can know, and I'm going to say, when I say no, it's like I can feel, that something isn't right or, you know, like it's all like I kind of gas, ain't no kind of, I distort my own reality to get what it is that I want, which is I like this, you know, my first mind is telling me, not to, or you shouldn't, but I'm going to do what I want to do. And for me, you know, that's my own fault because when God gives you the gift of discernment, you know, you can hear it, you can sometimes even see it, but you still just do what you want to do because that's what you want to do. And he can tell you, you know, don't. So we've all used God, benefited from something when it comes to him. And I know when I am, I know when I am spiritually fed up of trying to do something on my own, I go running back like, Lord, help me, when I should have listened to him the first time, when it was, but now I need help getting out of this mess I've created. Even though you told me about this or you showed me about that, but because I wanted, you know, company or I wanted to fit in or because I wanted validation, acceptance, attention, whatever, I did what I wanted to do. And now I need help because, now I need help, right? Hey, sis. And that's not just dealing with other people. That's just even dealing with myself. I've definitely done things I knew I had no business doing. Was raised right, taught right, warned against, but it was like, you know what? I want to do this because this is what I want to do. And then I go back limping, and when I say I go back limping, that was my experience of going, rejoining church. It was like, okay, I done got myself all in all this trouble. And honestly, y'all, I wasn't looking at it like that. I kind of went into it like this is just something new. I'm a really, really try God because I've tried everything else and nothing else is working. Nothing else is working. Okay. I'm miserable. I'm angry all the time. I'm not the best version of myself. I haven't been the best version of myself in a long time. And, my mom is saying this will work or this will help. So let me try it. Let me do what I have done. No, let me do what I haven't done most of my life, which is not listen to her. I'm gonna listen to her. I'm actually going to be like, an obedient child at 30 years old. Okay. And it worked. She was right. Okay. She was absolutely right. She was always right. I just did what I wanted to do. I can't even say I'm strong willed. I can honestly say I'm just hard headed because I feel like strong willed people would be a lot further than I am in life. I'm just hard headed. I just like to, I think I try and prove people wrong because I want to be right. So it's like, oh, you like, I don't know. But you can't prove God wrong. When you just can't do that. And in this case, and in many other cases, I have not proved God to be wrong yet. And it's not gonna happen. Now I'm not saying I'm just gonna be perfect, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, the girl said, God has given you the gift of discernment, you just, you know, she didn't say I was stupid, but that's what I heard. Like, girl, you just stupid. Sometimes you can watch something and you can hear what you want to hear because you already have your mind made up about how you feel about yourself. But I'm like, you know what? I have been very tired. I've been tired. Not like physically tired, just spiritually tired. Yeah, I've been really tired. I've been tired of the subject, being you can't believe in God and, you know, because you can believe in God, like you can know that God is real and you can still and you can I'm I'm gonna say this. You can believe in God and still be human. Okay. Now what I will say is you cannot have faith in God and allow, your flesh and I'm gonna say the flesh because we are human, right? But it's like you can't allow your flesh to take over. I don't think you can do that. I think you'll be tired. I think you will wear yourself out trying to be human. And when I say be human, it's like you're we have feelings, we have emotions, you know what I'm saying? But it's like when you're just going off of those and you're not um surrendering, you know, the flesh, and like I'm gonna say, allowing your spirit man to lead you, or the spirit, I feel like that'll kind of wear you out when you're trying. It's like God is real, but I'm still human. And I'm only saying that because that's how I think. It's like I'm not gonna be perfect, but I've only convinced myself that because truthfully when I just kind of relax, which is hard for me to do. It is really hard for me to relax. Like I've always been uptight in a sense of like my emotions. It's kind of like I'm very quick to react. It takes nothing for me to react. It takes a lot more of me to be still and wait. So you can imagine that prayer is hard for me because I take action, you know, to every um or should I say I I I react to every action. There we go. So when I was reading Psalms, it's like, commune with yourself, commune with your own heart, and what was it? Be still and trust in the Lord. It's like that's hard for me because I'm active. I move. I move. I'm always moving. I'm always thinking. I'm always reacting. I'm always reacting. So being still is hard when I'm comfortable in reacting because it's like, uh-uh, uh-uh. Be still and know that I am God. Y'all know that scripture. I don't think that that's in Psalm. I know it's somewhere. I know it's in a song, but I know in Psalms, okay, from what I recently read, it's just like, be still and trust in the Lord and. Oh, hey, Miss WD. But yeah, understanding that I choose to do what I want to do is recognizing that I am a victim of my own actions. Because that little voice that I thought was just paranoia or um oh you holding on to the past or you haven't really forgiven. It's like once again I start to gaslight myself, God is speaking, but I start talking to myself and convincing myself that that can't possibly be God because of, we'll say, maybe the person, place, or thing. And with that being said, I'm nobody's victim on this app or even in life. Honestly, y'all, I don't like to be looked at as a victim, but I think I'm a villain to myself too because when you think, well, I'm gonna say when I think about how it's like you saw this coming or you had an inkling or remember that thought you had before you did this and you still proceeded. It's like, yo, you kind of, you know you definitely played a you have a part in this. You have a part in this. And some people can look at that as, oh, don't blame yourself. No, I'm not blaming myself. I'm being accountable of not using discernment, not actively recognizing that this is the spirit of God, you know, telling you not to do this, not to include, not to engage, not to react, and you still do it anyway. You know, that's all I'm doing. There's a difference in beating yourself up and holding yourself accountable. And there's a difference in people beating up on you and people holding you accountable. And I've experienced both. I've been on both ends. Okay. Um, I will admit that I do beat myself up a lot, but in this season, I'm choosing not to beat myself up and just be accountable because life is short and really hard enough, and it's like I really don't want to continue to live in this problem that I was a part of. And I also don't want to continue to villainize other people, because I just want to move on. That is what I desire to do. I don't desire to cry and relive and remind and hurt and feel and react to these things that have happened, that have affected me for real. But I gotta put on the I don't give a F face. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to recognize, understand, breathe, and move on. Breathe. Not hold my breath. Okay. Not definitely not hold my breath. Not hold grudges, because I dislike doing that too, because it's a disservice of me. So nobody's perfect. I'm gonna say this. Nobody is perfect, but some people choose, including myself, to be intentionally mean. And people like that, you just have to move on from. And I've chosen to go back and be intentionally mean, but it's doing me a disservice. Me. It's not benefiting me at all. And I'm not talking about on the app, y'all. I'm talking about spiritually. It's just not benefiting me because it don't sit right in my spirit. It just don't. I lose sleep. I become more irritable. I can't even say remorseful. It's just I be mad all at myself because, you know, yeah, because I know better. There we go. And not just knowing better, I'm saying knowing better in God that, he really don't like that. Even when people have hurt you, he really don't like it because it's I don't want to say evil, even though, that would be the correct word. But when you're intentionally mean and harmful to other people, it's wicked. You can excuse yourself, your reasons, but when it's intentional, it's wicked. And that's why I be losing sleep. And because it's wicked. Some people are intentionally wicked and they can sleep at night, okay? Because, you know, it is not in them, okay? We're going to go back to scripture. It is not in them to change, but when God has granted you, you know, the ability to know the difference between good and bad within yourself and you choose bad, you are now wicked. You're choosing to be disobedient. You're choosing to rebel against what you know is right. And it's like, yo, so no. You know what I'm saying? Like when I read the Bible, y'all, it's like I get it. I absolutely get it. And I feel that some people think, well, we all read the Bible different and we all have different understandings, and that's okay because when I read it, I understand what I need to understand. And what I understand is, when I choose violence, I'm choosing disobedience to God. It's like, yo, wait a minute. Now you can say, well, Vaughn, you're young and you're gonna bump your head or but accountability is everything. And it's like, when like we can say other people are wicked, we can say other people are evil because of what they're doing to us. But when you read the word, you know, what is it? It's a double-edged sword. Okay. You can, cut the other person, but you're also cutting yourselves, which is why we're not supposed to be out here casting stones because we're all sinners. And I say that like the way I'm saying it because it's true. It's like, it's really just best to mind your own business and not worry about who's worried about you, even if, you know, it's obvious that people are worried about you. It's also obvious to people that you worried about them because you casting stones. Like everybody's just throwing stones. All the houses are glass. Okay. All right. In God's eyes, everybody's house is of glass and only He is the judge. So, we cannot, and when I say we, I'm really saying I cannot continue to throw stones and then, say you're wicked, you're evil, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, and not also be a part of the wicked and evil and this and that. It's like, just shut up. But like I said, that's hard for me. But it's really not hard for me at the same time because I know better. I just choose. So, with all that being said, I'm choosing silence in a different way. Not silence just on the internet, y'all, but I just want to be still for a while. I just want to be still, because I was all upset and oh, I won't be going to certain people's channels anymore and woo woo woo. And it's just like, you know what? The truth is, you're just tired. You're tired of feeling um spiritually attacked, and I'm tired of feeling like I can't fight back because and then it's like I fight back and then I'm all upset again. And it's like, yo, I'm just tired. I don't care enough about my enemies. And when I say my enemies, I don't care enough about them, to keep injuring myself and calling it standing up for myself when I'm really hurt. And people can listen to this and say, "Oh, she's weak and she's this," but it's like, no, I asked God to help me with me, and I've asked Him to help me not be so angry, and have these fits of rage and be all emotional. I asked Him to help me, and He can't help me if I keep injuring myself. He can't. He can't. If I keep getting in the way, He can't really help me. I asked Him to help me not want to fight so much. I literally asked Him of these things, but I keep getting in the way. And y'all are thinking that it's just YouTube. No, this person that y'all see that's me in real life. I get very angry because I'm hurt. I get very sad because I'm hurt. And it's not a sad and a pitiful woe is me. It's like it's a defense mechanism of you're not going to tear me down, but in the process of me trying to defend myself, I'm also hurting myself. So it's like that stuff is real. It's not fake. It's not for sympathy. That is who I've always been, which is like this fighting kind of person, because my feelings are hurt, and it's like I'm sick of that being a damn circus for content because it's like my feelings are really hurt. Like I'm not just saying that because I want people. It's like I really feel that way. And my best friend, what's funny is y'all, I talked to my best friend the other day and she told me, she was like, "Girl, take your feelings out of it." She said, "I think majority of the people around you are fake and you're the only," like because she knows me. She's like, your feelings, it's like this, my mother has told me this, it's your feelings. It's like it's always they know that this is the real me, and they kind of are like, "Oh my God, like why did she let her feelings?" And it's like, for a hot second I was kind of mad at her, because not mad at her, but it was kind of like, "Best friend, what you talking about? Like, what?" But she was right. She was like, everybody else, they getting their money, or they doing this or they doing that, and you're just, being all friendly and open with people that, are hurt, or well, I'm gonna say have hurt you, you've hurt them, whatever. And, they really don't care, or they do care, but they're not gonna show you, they're not gonna tell, you know what I'm saying? Like we just kind of had this conversation. And it was like, you know what? I'm when I said I was tired, yeah, I was like, I've been sick of this since it started, because it's like I really don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. So I've been fighting with myself about how I feel. It's like I don't want to look like a punk, but I know I shouldn't touch this fire, but I'm gonna touch this fire anyway because they think I'm a punk. And then it's like I'm really sad, or well, I'm not gonna say sad. Hurt, because I'm not sad. I'm hurt by some of these individuals, but I don't want to show that. So I'm just going to act like I don't care. What they call it, fake it till you make it. But these traps that are being set, I keep falling in them because I do really care, and it's not caring about what people think about me, it's how I feel about said individual or individuals, you know. So it's like I'm tired, y'all. Like so serious. I am so freaking tired because I really don't want to fight y'all. I can't stand what y'all have done. I can't stand what y'all say. I can't stand what you do to me, but I don't really want to fight it either. So the infamous, um, oh, Vaughn says she's gonna take a YouTube break. Then she comes back 3 days later. No, y'all, I'm really taking a break because there's some wounds there that are kind of open, reopened, and I don't want to keep revisiting. Nor do I even want, the people that I currently talk to, or that have been affected and we've gone. I don't really want them being injured by this mess either, because it's all a mess, you know. Adults, mature adults can come together and have a conversation and um move on, you know. And I'm gonna say some of us have done that and succeeded. Some of us have tried and tried and tried and never have succeeded. And I just have to take better care of myself. And I haven't been taking care of myself, entertaining things that I laugh about. And I'm not going to say I want to cry about everything, but some things have made me want to cry in the privacy of my own home. And because I refuse to cry in the privacy of my own home, I just come live and I react and I give y'all an angry version of myself that should not exist on the internet. Why do you let people affect you like that? Because I let certain people in, and once again, that's my fault. And I have to heal from that, and I have to, you know, deal with that, not all in front of everybody for everybody's entertainment, because honestly, y'all, a lot of this stuff is not funny. It's crazy, but I'm a little on the sensitive side, okay? Just a little bit. And I don't want to fight y'all no more. I'm tired. I don't even want to talk about these people no more. Not even just to. And Miss Tawana said that she like, Vaughn, if you're not gonna play the YouTube game, you should just walk away. And it's like I've been trying so hard not to walk away because I don't want it to appear that people have, ran me away. But it's like I don't want to play the game either, you know, of allowing people to steal what is peaceful for me. And I feel like I've been letting people steal that from me by not walking away from things that are draining me spiritually, robbing me of my peace, um, taking me back and forth through emotions. It's like, no, you know, one day, I'm not even one day, one week I'm not watching, the next week I'm watching. Okay, 1 month I'm not watching, the next month I'm watching. No, I don't want to watch y'all. Okay. And when I say entertain the devil, I'm really not speaking on a specific person. I'm saying entertaining the devil by thinking I'm strong enough to, play around with these things that really hurt me on some type of level. That's kind of insane, isn't it? It's like you're really hurt, you know, you want to heal, but you're going to keep, laughing at your own pain, or even, and I'm like, it's like, that's not being at peace for real. When you are truly at peace, and I've experienced it, it's like water off your back. And I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I'm starting to feel it in my back again. Okay? It's like, and I don't want to be a hypocrite and take God seriously when I'm benefiting from him. I want to take God seriously even on the days where I am weak in emotion and weak in faith and weak in um, believing that He will fight for my battles, will fight my battles for me. You know, I'm weak in those areas and really trusting God and not trying to take situations into my own hands. So, you know, entertaining the devil is just not something I should be doing new in the faith at all. Like, no, because y'all, I'm trying not to curse, but your girl is tired of fighting with herself, fighting with my flesh and my spirit. I'm tired. You know, I'd rather be honest and look weak than pretend and really be doing myself more a disservice. I didn't say it, I don't care, I don't care, I don't give a F, but it's clear that I care. And I do give plenty of Fs. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so angry, I wouldn't cry, and I wouldn't be constantly trying to tell my side of the story and explain and clear my name and this didn't happen, that that's not how that happened, or she knows this. It's clear to me that people that I wanted to be in my corner was not. And I just have to accept that. I cannot change that. But what I can change is Kevon, and I've learned a lot, and it's made me stronger and wiser. Okay, you know, and everything that somebody does to you, isn't always something that it's a anything that bad that happens to you. It's supposed to make you stronger. It's not supposed to make you weak. And I feel that what makes you weak is, you keep revisiting it, you know, starving for an apology, starving for a conversation, starving for acknowledgement, starving for accountability. It's like if that was possible, you know, you wouldn't have this mess wouldn't be happening. If that was what was supposed to happen, if that is what is going to happen, all of this mess and this back and forth and this anxiety and this anger and this stuff, all of this stuff would just not be happening. It would just kind of happen. If that what's meant to happen is what happens, and what's not ever going to happen, you just have to accept, but not only is this childish, y'all, it is spiritually draining for me. It's always kind of been that way. I just have a name for it now. It's like, uh, so she said, what? You already said that you're hard headed. Yes, you know, the first step is to admit the problem, right? I've been stuck on the first step for a long time now, okay? Now it's time to actually make steps toward changes so that I won't be so hard-headed and really be wise. Use wisdom. Choose wisdom, not violence. I'm gonna make a t-shirt that says that, and it'll have a proverb that backs up the statement. Choose wisdom, not violence. What do y'all think of that? I'm serious. I'm gonna write that down, and I'm really gonna make a t-shirt that says that. Do y'all know we can make our own t-shirts for real with the Cricut machine or like Sheen and Amazon and like you can make your own t-shirts. And I'm gonna make my own t-shirt that says choose wisdom and not violence. But I'm gonna go, y'all, because I think I've talked enough. She says Psalms 46. Or were you trying to say 4 and 6? Because I think it was Psalm 4 and 8. Or was it Psalm 4? Let me see. I'll look really, really quick. Yeah, it was 4. Okay, so the Psalm I was referring to was stand in awe and sin not, commune with your own heart upon your bed, and be still. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. That was the psalm I was referring to. I don't know what psalm. Well, you say 46. I'm gonna look at 46. I might just get off here and go read it because I've talked enough, and that's all I wanted to say. You know, I do enjoy YouTube, y'all, a whole lot, but it's a distraction. I got some real healing to go do. And I just can't entertain the devil anymore. I can't. Okay. You say good night, everybody. Good night, sis. You know, when I did my live and I was like, get her, distract her. It's like because it's hey, that's what it is, you know, distractions. And then some people say everything ain't spiritual. To me, everything is spiritual, because everything is spiritual. Everything. Childish fights on the internet, believe it or not, is spiritual. I want y'all to look at me. Can y'all see me? It's spiritual. And a lot of us that are fighting with each other are also fighting ourselves. I'm going to say that too. Fighting ourselves. It's called spiritual warfare. It's not just a demonic attack on our lives, it's spiritual warfare within ourselves showing up on an app. Because when you're at peace with yourself, nobody can disturb your peace. And I want to be at peace with myself so much that nobody can disturb me of my peace. Like, I crave that kind of peace. I have faith in that kind of peace, but faith without works is what? Dead. So, you know, you have to work spiritually. You have to fight in the spirit. You have to fight in the spirit and not be out here fighting. Is it carnally? Because fighting carnally, is it carnally? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So what I am trying to say is that when you're fighting spiritual fights, your weapons aren't carnal. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So, right. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, the fight within myself, I cannot fight with my flesh. I can't fight with my words and my anger and my emotions. I really have to use my carnal weapons, which are spiritual weapons. And it's like you have to pray and trust God and, not be the total opposite of what you would usually fight with. I'm gonna say it like that because I can't. Hold on, wait. Let me slow down. Let me try it again. I am fighting a spiritual fight, okay, with my flesh. There we go. Okay, and that's not how you win. Now, I'm not saying you can use God as a weapon, okay, because I made that joke on a phone call and it was like, girl, God is not a dog. You cannot just stick him on people. No. Um, yeah. So that's all I got for y'all. I love y'all. And I will not be going live for a minute. And I don't know if Sis has made, the announcement, but we, won't be working on Waiting to Exhale. She's got other projects. And, I'll be tuning in to stuff that I want to tune into, but I won't be in the chats, y'all, because like I said, I'm gonna do what's best for me for a little while. So if y'all see me, I'm okay. I'm just taking a real break and choosing wisdom over violence. And it's nothing personal. I don't hate nobody. I really kind of just hate myself right now. And if I'm honest, I can't even say I hate myself. I can't even say I'm disappointed. It's just, I just want to go through the motions and the emotions and the feelings without, giving everybody a constant show, and it's like I'm not going to heal that way. I'm not going to resolve anything that way. You know, I have to move on and I have to move on for my real person in real life. I have to move on for her sanity, for our sanity. And when I say our, I mean old Vaughn and new Vaughn. And, I just have to move on and let these people go, and, forgive. And I don't believe any of those things are possible if I keep entertaining the childishness and the pettiness and the lies and the manipulation and the this and that. It's like I'll never heal. I will never really heal if I don't close these doors by myself. And when I say by myself, it's like, not trauma bonding. And I'm not saying that I'm trauma bonding with people intentionally. Sometimes we do that on accident. And I feel that I've done that in the past, and it's like I've genuinely like a lot of y'all. I've always actually genuinely liked everybody, honestly. There was never really, intention to be malicious in the beginning, and then it turned into something malicious. But it's like, I just don't want to be stuck on stupid. I don't want to be stuck in these rabbit holes of drama and sadness and anger and regret. I don't want to be stuck anymore. And that's just how I've been feeling. It's like I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I've blocked people, and I don't watch these people. And when I do watch these people, that's my own fault. Or, when I let people come to me and tell me stuff, that's my own fault. Like, it's like, you know, so that's all I got. I am logging off now. I'm gonna go to sleep, y'all, because now I'm tired. I am. I really, y'all. It's been a long day. It's been a long, 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 long day. And today is my kid's late day, so I can sleep just a little longer. But yeah. So I will see y'all when I see y'all. I love the people who support me. I really do. Especially if you have my phone number, okay, and I have yours. I really do love you, and I appreciate y'all's support. And you know, that's it. Okay. Hey Shanice, hey girl. I love that you do the little green hearts because I do the pink hearts, but I like that color green. But all right, y'all. Good night, and y'all pray for me, okay? Don't pray on me, but pray for me, and pray that I get the desires of my heart, which is peace within, and yeah. So good night, y'all, and don't forget to hit the like button, okay? And yeah. So bye, y'all. Okay.